Notre Dame, Penn State, this is going to be a football game, guys. This is going to require football players to make football plays and football coaches to make schematic football schemes. All right, not the stuff you see on ESPN, not the flashy stuff, not the stuff, get your popcorn, here we go. This is going to be intense. This is going to be a fight. The way I see it, you got Notre Dame, who's all heart. Not a lot of talent. They got one really good running back, but other than that, they got a quarterback who just gets it done with his heart and his effort and his determination. Then you got Penn State on the other hand. Penn State's electric. All right, they have incredible talent, offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. All right, I still feel like their defense doesn't play great all the time. That's why I gave them that B rating in the last video. And then I got 75 Penn State fans telling me I'm wrong. 45 points against Oregon. I'm not wrong. 21 points against Ohio State. Ohio State's A right now. Penn State's defense needs to step up to win this game. Nonetheless, I digress. The best player on the football field come Thursday is going to be Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. It's so important for Notre Dame, if you have any chance of winning this game, is that you stop Tyler Warren, tight end, number 44. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the schematics about how to stop one elite player. Because if you can stop that one elite player, I like Notre Dame's chances a lot. All right, here we go. Here's a lot of different looks. I'm going to talk about Tyler Warren. This dude's incredible. All right, he's a good run blocker. We always start there with tight end because tight end's an amazing position. You got to block and catch. He's a really good run blocker. All right, now let's jump into the pass game. He can do it all. He can run every single route. He can run the out route. He can run the drag route. He can run the in and out route down the field. He can run a seam route. He can run a post route. He can run a corner route. He does everything. For God's sakes, he even takes the ball as a quarterback and runs power run game. He is lethal. He's like the best player on a high school team who does like 55 things. That's what this guy does at the college level. Top 15 pick in the NFL draft. Go ahead and call that an easy thing. I think he will be. He's so important to Penn State's offense. He's the check down. He's the deep route. He's the red zone target. He's the guy that, hey, we need a first down. We go to him. He's everything. So how do you stop him? Well, this gets down to the actual sport of football. All right, you're not going to hear this in any other pundits, but you got to come up with a plan that makes sure that he knows he's in a football game. Because this guy plays with a lot of joy. You watch that game against even Oregon. You watch the game against Arizona State. He's running down the field untouched. That cannot happen. Notre Dame needs to hit this kid every single play. Boom, boom, boom. He should hate his life. All right, there should be every single time there's an ability for this dude to get hit. He needs to get hit. If he's going out there for a run block and he's stretching, knock him the hell out. And that's real football schematics. That's how you really win games, is you challenge the best player on the opposing team mentally and physically. This is a rough sport. All right, football's not a nice sport. You hit him every single play. Doesn't matter. You never let him go play without getting hit in some fashion. He lines up in various places. He lines up on the line of scrimmage. He lines up off the line of scrimmage. He can line up as quarterback again. He can line up over here, kind of as more of an H-back, and then he can line up as a receiver split, as a slot receiver, kind of where I currently have the Z. So, in my opinion, Notre Dame, you take your best defensive back. I don't care if it's a cornerback. I don't care if it's a safety. I don't care if it's a linebacker. Whoever is the best, the biggest dog, the biggest competitor, and you say, follow this guy the entire game. I don't care where he goes, what he does. I don't care if Allen, the running back for Penn State, gets 150 yards. I don't care. You follow this guy and you compete with him every single play. So that's point number one. You got to pick that guy. It's the Herb Brooks quote, I'm not looking for the best player, I'm looking for the right player. You got to find the right guy to guard Warren, because if not, he's shredding you, promise you. All right, now I want to talk about the schematics of how to stop someone with team defense. And this is all communication based. This is all pre-game planning. This is really where football becomes an intelligent mind sport instead of this like rough and hitting sport. This is where elite championship thought process actually comes into play. So you can kind of see, let's just say he's on the line of scrimmage. I'm going to move this around a little bit. Let's just say he's on the line of scrimmage right here, all right? There's going to be a communication paths for each of these different scenarios. For example, if he's on the line of scrimmage, as you can kind of see, I have this defensive end being, shifted over. Because the number one thing we want is to get contact on him, right? We want to slow him down. We want to not allow him to easily get to his point that he wants to get to on the football field. So we're going to kind of chip block him, and then we're going to go on our rush. And that might screw us because they might run right here, and that's okay. But once again, we are picking our target and making sure this one guy does not beat us because we think he is the wild card of their team. All right, so then we're chipping. Then we have our guy who's essentially going to be covering him the entire game. Now, there's going to be different looks, and there's got to be pre-snap communication, pre-snap reads, and there would honestly, for my defense, would be legitimately call-outs of what's going to happen. For instance, we have the main guy here who's going to cover him. If he runs this way, great, we're going to cover him right here. If he runs this way, this guy and this guy right here, defensive tackle and the linebacker, need to be aware of some type of play call because there's going to be scenarios where we're going to ask this guy to help with the double team. You got my point? So there's pre-snap communication that everyone's, hey, look at the ball, look at the quarterback, look where number 44 is. All right, and then we're communicating back and forth saying, if he comes this way, I'll help you with the double team. All right, if he goes away, then you got him single-handedly. So we're really working in double teams in our offense. If he runs up the seam, great. This linebacker is going to run on his shallow side, and this safety is going to play over the top. Okay, this guy's going to be on an island. So we're essentially double teaming him and boxing him in. Every single direction he goes, we're going to box him in. Let's shift to a different look about him playing a slot receiver. All right, this is where it gets complex. Why? Because now we're into space. All right, this is where TJ Warren shreds defenses. All right, he's right here in the Z. All right, this is him. Number one thing you got to do is you got to press him. And if he's beating out the press, then you can kind of circle back. But what is press? What I'm trying to say is the defensive back needs to get right as close as he can get to him to the line of scrimmage. And when he steps on that line of scrimmage, hit him immediately. Right? You're not doing pass interference, but you're just playing tough football. You're standing your ground. You're right under yourself, and you're hitting him, making contact. Right? Press. You see that a decent amount in the NFL. Darrelle Revis was one of the best press cornerbacks to ever play football. All right, so watch his tape. Nonetheless, so you scoot him up, right? And this is, remember, this is our guy. This is our champion. This is our guy we're saying who's going to compete the entire day. We got our assignment right here. So this guy's going to play press. He's going to man-on-man. Wherever the hell he goes, he's going to go, all right? And then we got our box. These four guys are going to be working together. If he goes here, then we're going to double team right here. If he goes here, depending on what this guy does, he may be on an island one-on-one, or this cornerback may be able to help. If he runs the seam, then this safety is going to stay with 44. If this guy also runs the seam, no problem. We're just going to say one-on-one, beat us. Okay, but once again, we're trying to slow down number 44 because we think he's the key to the offense. So any which direction he goes, we're going to have some type of double team. All right, if you really want to get fancy, we can think about it where this linebacker is going to shift this way. So then the quarterback thinks that when he does a slant, 44 does a slant, that he's going to be open, but then we're going to drop back one of these linemen to cover the middle. All right, Ohio State famously did this against Alabama in like 2014 and got a pick. I remember. So what I'm trying to say is unique scenario where you have such an elite talent that you have to think about specifically how are we going to cover this guy. But in my opinion, you got to come up with something. All right, you may not do this the whole game. You may just run your base defense Notre Dame, but there's going to be a time and a point where you know they want to get to Warren. So what are you going to do? Stop it? These are just some concepts and some ideas I have on a whiteboard looking all messy and fun. But geez, should be a good game. I've been feeling Notre Dame's going to win this game because Notre Dame has shown a pattern of winning tough games. But the more and more I watch tape, I'm like, Penn State, this team is rather dangerous in terms of Warren, Aller, and of course, their running backs, Allen and Singleton, are also very, very solid running backs. So Notre Dame's going to have their hands full, but you got to come up with some type of plan to at least take away one of the biggest weapons for Penn State. In my opinion, that should be Warren, tight end. Thanks for checking out today's video. Please consider subscribing. Just getting going here. Having a lot of great commenters, great community that we're building here. Check out the links below as well. But yeah, appreciate your time. And yeah, we'll keep it going. Thanks. Oh, I'll have a post-game analysis right after the game too that breaks down exactly what happened and how whatever team won or how a team lost. So yeah, check that out. Thanks all. We'll talk soon.